Not every religious abuse and trauma story starts off looking like that's where things are going to be heading, but nonetheless, these stories start. How did New York Times best-selling author Tia Levings's story of religious abuse and trauma start for her? My parents did an ordinary American thing. They took their children to church. And they didn't realize it, but as I grew up, the churches we attended replaced developments with indoctrination. I learned I was personally responsible for an ancient murder that the world still grieved, that unless I apologized and asked for salvation, I would burn in a literal lake of flames for all eternity. That one day the Lord would return, sweeping true believers up into the sky, and if I was left behind with no one to love me, it would be because I'd lied. I must not have meant what I said when I prayed. I learned the best and only acceptable outcome for my life was that of maternal service. I was born with a V, so my role in humanity was to procreate and serve sweetly at all times. I learned to repent of my dreams and ambitions and look outside of myself, to male leadership for answers to my questions or to fulfill my needs. I discovered I could not say no, especially to God or a man, and that my body was not my own. It belonged to others. My yids and my V were my husband's. My womb was my children's. My hands and back were for the service of our home, congregation, and community. My voice was to remain silent. Unless I had something nice to say, it was better to say nothing at all. I learned that there were rules within rules. Unless I obeyed to perfection, I would be abandoned and unloved, completely alone. I learned someone's disappointment in me was a result of my sinful nature. I learned to hold still through pain and to smile through suffering, and that nothing on earth mattered. To God be the glory, great things he has done. I learned all of those over animal crackers and paper cups of punch, with flannel graph Sunday school lessons in rooms full of first friends, and sermons surrounded by loving parents in a community that cared about children. My parents saw two smiling children. My sister Monica and me trusted that they were doing the right thing for their young family. I displayed many signs that may indicate something was wrong: nightmares, hyperactivity, distraction, disassociation, persistent stomach aches. But who in the 1980s would suspect church, James Dobson, or illustrated Bible stories? My doctor treated me for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. My teacher sent home notes that I struggled with math and talking too much. By the time I was in middle school in Jacksonville, Florida, and we attended one of the largest churches in America, I was at a church activity 6 days out of 7. The flannel graphs were gone. Our meetups were focused on pizza and purity culture. Until I was 34 years old, I kept my doubts and questions to myself. I answered the question, "Did you have a good childhood?" with a prattling song. "Oh yes, excellent. I grew up in a Southern Baptist megachurch. My best friends are all Christians. We spent our summers